Alright internet, Goat here, how's it going? Welcome to another edition of Goat TV. Today we are in the world of bass guitar. Okay, I'm doing some open bass surgery, so I'm going to show you what's going on. Anyway, what we've got here is my old vintage Music Man copy. It's EST96 pre-Wilkinson. So basically, Vintage is a company based out of England. The guitars are made in the Far East, and they are owned by a big musical distribution company called JHS, John Hornby Skews. So they've been around for ages. This bass is, I don't know, it's probably about 15 years old at least, or something like that, probably, maybe more. Recently, or more recently, they work more with Trev Wilkinson, who's a kind of a guitar guru in England. So they've had Wilkinson pickups and Wilkinson hardware and things like that. So this predates those. Also, these basses now they're called the V something or other 964 or something like that, and they're active now. These ones, this particular model was pre-active, so it was a passive bass. Anyway, so today what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to upgrade the preamp inside the bass. So you can see I've taken the control plate off here. So this is the gubbins that was already inside it. It was broken, so if you look at that pot, one of the sides of the shaft is snapped off there. There was another pot which basically totally snapped. I'll find that for you. Don't know why, but I'll just show you. Yeah, so there's nothing on the end of it. See, it's snapped clean off. These were the original controls inside there. Okay. So that stuff, what the pickup's still wired up at the moment. I seem to remember wiring it in parallel. I think that's what you're supposed to do with the Music Man pickup, where both hots from each side of the pickup go to the same lug on the pot here. Anyway, so what I've got to replace the stuff that was in there is a Retrovibe Stinger 77. I've already wired it slightly into the control plate here. I was just trying to gauge sizes. So this is an active preamp, as you can see by the battery plug. It's got a little printed circuit board inside there, which is the preamp. Okay, it's got 3 controls, so it's volume, bass, treble and bass. The bass is boost only, and the treble is a cut and boost, I think. So the treble has got a center detent in it. Yep, there it is. Okay, so volume there, treble is here. I can feel the halfway notch in there. So it'll be boost one side, cut the other side, and the bass is just the boost. Yeah, there's no detent in there. Okay, now this is supposed to mimic, supposed to be close as possible to the Music Man Stingray 2-band EQ, which was the 70s EQ they had in there. They replaced it in the 80s with a 3-band, which had a mid control in it as well, and then I think even a mid sweep. So you'd have a dual concentric pot. So the bottom would be the frequency, and the top would be how much you cut or boost. This is just a 2-band EQ, but it's meant to sound more like the old school Music Man Stingrays, and I really like the sound of those anyway. And I'm not looking for a massive hi-fi range of EQ on it. I just want it to sound a bit better than it does. Not that it sounds wrong or anything wrong with it, but because some of the pots were broken on this anyway, and you know, it was a bit knackered, I've got another Music Man copy, which is the Sub Ray 4, which is the Music Man it's their licensed version made in the Far East, so it's an official Music Man product, but the cheapest version you can get. So instead of it being £2.5 it's like 400 quid. All right, this bass cost me 80 quid. I bought it second hand ages ago, so it's a lot cheaper. Anyway, I think new they're about the same price as the Sub Ray 4. And I put years ago this, it's upside down, Seymour Duncan bass lines pickup in there, which is a really, really good music. That's probably the best. Well, I mean, there's Nordstrands and stuff like that, but that's a really good Music Man replacement pickup. And that one's the Alnico Magnet one, which is, again, like the 70s Stingrays. Later on they moved to ceramic magnets, and the cheaper versions also have ceramic magnets. So the pickup I've got in my other Music Man is a ceramic. That's got an active preamp in it as well. I don't know whether it's going to be better or worse than the one I'm going to put in here, this one. This one is not the most expensive preamp in the world. It was 60 quid, or £62 delivered, £57 plus delivery. And just to put that in context, most other onboard preamps are about 120 to 180 quid or more. I put a John East EQ in another Music Man style bass I had, but it was a 5-string, and then I sold it. And the John East one was great, but it was 150 quid. And to be honest with you, it had a massive range of EQ, but you know, I'm a set and forget kind of person. So I'll set the EQ and I'll just leave it. And once I've got the sound. So that's why I didn't go as expensive on this. And as well, it's already got a really good pickup. So I mean, chances are it might sound better than the Ray 34, or it might not, I don't know. But I'm going to install that gubbins in there, and then I will in another video do a comparison between this one, fully upgraded, and the Ray 34 stock, so you can get an idea. But anyway, today what I need to do is use this, which is a chisel, which is sharp, right? Because I need to gouge out some more space in the control cavity there to fit a battery, 9 volt, right? Not easy, because here is a 9 volt battery, okay? And if you look, okay, I mean, there's barely any room above the battery. Now you've got the control plate, which has got pots on the bottom, you know, the body of the pot is on the bottom. So there's no way that's going to fit. I've already tried it and it doesn't fit. And I expected that. I don't want to gouge out a hole in the back and put a battery compartment in, really, because then I'll have to drill through into the control cat. That's going to be a massive pain. And my woodworking skills aren't quite at that level, I'll tell you that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to gouge out some more room down here to fit the battery in. Now I don't want to go any deeper down because there's probably not that much room, not much wood left really. So the idea is I'm going to gouge out the sides, but I've got to leave the top, right? So I've got to go at an angle so it widens out as you go down, because obviously these bits, they still need to be there because that's where you screw the control plate on. And if I chomp that out, and you're not going to be able to connect it to anything, obviously, duh. So the idea is to get it so that the battery will lie flat like that, not have to go like that. And also, obviously, once I've done that, I've still got to fit this circuit board in there. And it's not, you know, it's got capacitors on it, so it's not that short. It's gonna be tricky. It's gonna be tricky. So first of all, I'm gonna get on with the chisel. Yeah, people get scared of doing this sort of stuff, and I don't blame you. Yeah, it's a bit scary when you're doing life-altering work on an instrument, like you're chopping wood out. I don't really like doing it, but needs must. So chisel, gonna find my hammer in a minute, gonna do some hammering and chiseling, trying to make some room, and I'll come back to you then. So, see you in a bit. Ah!